show Revolution.
It is a hit show.
I think it is.
Bingo.
I think it is. I feel excited to be on it, and I have been asked the question, how does it feel to go to work? And I have to say I'm excited every single day. And I mean, it helps that I have a great character like Tom Neville, and it helps that the writers say, we love writing for you, and we have the most intricate and complicated storylines for this guy. And so that makes me feel like it's a vote of confidence.
There was some doubt, at least by us, in the beginning, that maybe the storylines would be a little too complicated for a mass market audience, and it turns out no. A surprise to you? Did you know that going in? I mean, did you figure that people would figure it out?
No, I didn't. You know, and people want to be entertained, and I don't think everyone wants to be entertained in a way that they have to think too much. It's exciting that they've been able to stick with and stay with the complicated storyline that we have so far, and I hope they can stick with it when it gets more complicated.
You know, one of the tenets of this show was that it did go away for a while, and you know, the broadcast was interrupted, and that can be a death knell. But it wasn't so in this. In fact, you came back stronger than when you left.
We did come back stronger. We've had a little bit of a lull for a week or so, and then obviously last week and the events of Boston and the world sort of preempted us, and our hearts go out to the folks there. But it is a new way of programming a show, and that's not my expertise, although it did have me nervous. I feel like we have to come back even stronger in the weeks to come to be able to not just hold our audience, but to build it and to raise it up. The more people talk about the fact that they can literally sit down and watch the show with their children and have something to discuss, either scientific or emotional, that's a wonderful thing. So I'd love to have the audience, double. It would be kind of fascinating if it could happen.
When you're at the airport going through, what are some of the good things or bad things you hear about your character and about the show?
I feel like I hear that once in a while I hear that some of the other storylines are weak, that the actors haven't quite settled in yet to their storyline. But I think they have. I love working with my wonderful castmates, Elizabeth Mitchell and Billy Burke, and especially in Tracy Spiridakos, and especially J.D. Pardo. We've gotten stronger in our relationships. I hear that Neville's too mean and doesn't have any compassion, yet there's 1 out of 10 people who say, I see his heart. I see him having a little softness and understanding for other people around him. I think I'm giving that, so I hope people are sort of getting it. So those are some of the good and bad things that I hear, and I hear that people, didn't want us to go away. Why were you gone so long? Again, that's not a decision I made, but it's the way they're programming shows now. The good things I hear, the show is filmic. It's very much like a film, and I like that. And I love the attention and support that NBC and Warner Brothers are giving the show.
Well, the technology aspect of the show really brings out the survivalist in all of us, I think. If given that situation, do you think you would react in the same manner as your character is reacting? Or would you be more complacent? Going with the flow. I mean, these are people that, are living without everything.
I would have to say I relate very much to Tom Neville. I don't know if I would be as forceful as he is, but I would be wily. And I have some sense of survivalism because I love to camp, and I have some sense of what it's like to live in nature. I love it outside. It would be a challenge. But because I'm a father, I think I would take more action than most because I would want my children to survive. I feel like, those of us who have lived a few years, we can say, at least I can, I've had a good life up to now. But when I look at my 9-year-old, my 12 and 14 and 16-year-old, they're just beginning. So I think I would be very much like Tom Neville in order to be able to protect and preserve their lifestyle and teach them a new lifestyle so they could have a life, even if it's in a world that I don't understand.
We talked about the enjoyment the public seems to be getting from the show. Were you aware of that as a result of reports coming into you, or was it more organic? I mean, you get a feel from people you run into and you talk to.
It's very organic for me because I travel so much and don't always get a chance to tune in on the night and don't always get a chance to get the numbers. I'm interested in that, and I do ask what the numbers are, but that's just the number. For me, the palpable experience is the personal experience. And because I'm in the public so much, I know what people see me in, and it's a little bit tricky because people recognize me from other shows, but more and more people are saying, I've seen Revolution, and they relate to that. And the more that happens, the more I know the vast majority of people I meet now are seeing me every Monday night.
When you were talking about the good and bad feedback you got, you seem like you're very comfortable processing good and bad feedback. What point did you realize you could do that? You wouldn't take it personally anymore, which is very
I think